sometimes we just have to get back to the basics. And I'm getting the sense that this is one of those times. I've been a relentless creative my entire life, and some of this season shift might be like the midlife thing. Um, but it looks like we're going to have to be just showing up regularly and workshopping it until I get it out of my system. And again, I know this is not all about me. Um, the reason why I want to be open about it is because, part of the Art Go show is to actually demonstrate um, the reality of the creative process and the creative plate. And I love some of the aspects of myself that are more bubbly and free spirited and magnetic and kinetic and solar and um, just more fun, and my inner child fancy free. And um, unfortunately, at this stage, I am feeling compelled to just be okay with a little bit of the more stoic edge. And so if you're feeling discouraged, if you're feeling like it's time to make this shift, this could be like some kind of a confirmation. I know that that's where I'm at. So I guess, ultimately I got this, the modern digital video format, like the bug, the itch to do it. I do have romantic notions of like the cinematic and more filmy filmmaking as utilizing the medium of the modern video access that we have to do some really creative things. But for some reason, I feel like really called just to go through like the last excavation of my root, kind of reestablishing my foundation. And so I decided a long, 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 long time ago. Actually, I could probably go on forever. I just want to keep these little check-ins to a couple minutes. But forever, before this was even a thing, I'd always sought to do, the mobile, the creativity, the interview with humanity. And then I got swept off into another life, just keeping, simplicity with the family life, always creating and just little gigs and stuff to support the artisan creative life, alternative lifestyle. And that was that was fine. But then in the meantime, like technology caught up. And so that there was just like a lot more opportunities. And then it came to a point, like back in the dawn of, I guess, the modern trend of the blogs. I haven't been a TV head forever since I was a kid. I virtually haven't watched television. And I was not real active on the internet. I was just really mostly like living the primitive, simple kind of with the dirt and the kids and the art and that kind of thing. Um, so I wasn't really aware. And most people, even at that time, like in the early, like 2000, mid 2000s, like 15, 16, because I know that YouTube came out like at the beginning, like before the tens, 2010, 2000, whatever it was, like 6, 7, 8, 9, is when I started the channel. I had the vision. Oh, now we can finally have the mobile art gallery, because I've always just like arrived at a place and whipped open a little gallery. I always have the copy going, always be working, people take an interest and just share whatever you're doing, and you artists come by and travelers and people that really appreciate, truly appreciate the spirit and of keeping that creative tradition alive. um, and I thought, oh gosh, this is wonderful. I can be even more mobile. I can even be more portable. I can have the virtual studio, the virtual gallery. And it came to the point where um, I didn't have like babies anymore, that I was more mobile. And so I ventured out. Um, I've always been like that, like kind of ahead, like feeling the wave coming. And, but for whatever reason, I was just kind of still on my own trip. But so I convinced my husband to venture out and do like what would be considered now the travel blogging kind of thing that all these channels blew up and got successful, and now they've gone on to like the waves change. But we're basically like on that wave before even people even really realized it was a thing, and we just never actualized because unfortunately my husband didn't really grasp the vision that he had agreed to and the amount of commitment and what it would truly mean to embody the opportunity to anyway, it's a long story. We can like I said, I want to keep these very very short. But so that was the one of the initial intentions of the channel, is just like I'd done a lot of time with the kids and really um, I wasn't ready to be more worldly. I was international, but not like on the broader scale that I wanted. And then I guess we'll just leave off there. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff happened, and I just got really, really, really behind. And I realize now that, the bug to do this, to utilize this medium, has never left. I mean, my more traditional, like hands-on paintings and all these other kinds of art forms, I'm still doing that actively. Um, but I wanted to incorporate this opportunity to be able to reach more people in a different way than before historically. And so I I've subtly tried to like reinvent, can talk myself into making it work this way or that way, and I'm just at a bust. I mean, there is just no way I cannot show up in my true solar electric, like magnetic, like spirited, just magical, free, truly, truly, spirit, the essence, my true essence, as long as I mean, I'm here, I feel it, but it doesn't come off. What it comes off is dysregulated and weird, and like I'm up to something, or like just not, it reeks of inauthentic, and it's not. I'm purely authentic. But the glitch is the congruency in the reality of the way that I kind of, if I see it, I can be it. If I can, I need to see things to be able to do them. I'm very visual in that respect, and I see very, very, very far out. So I kind of had when you're working with other people and you think you have, like, this is the trajectory, like the direction that you're aiming, and then just you keep getting all these, like, I don't even, I guess I'm going to cut this off now before, it's just too much to characterize off the cuff. So the reality is I am regrouping, and I'm going to sit here as long, or whatever, walk around, do whatever it is as long as it takes to be able to get a rhythm and overcome my fear of being exposed, like, because this is one thing I do want to mention, is that intellectually, I know I grew up, oh my gosh, I'm old fashioned, like advertising, like, blah, this is not mysterious to me, like how to come off in a certain way, and just the blah. And that's not what I want to do. This is like a different opportunity for me. So, excuse me. Um, I just, I have to like strip out all the crap away and go into like, why was there complications and what I thought was a really simple trajectory. Well, a lot of it really traces back to our, like, programming from our childhoods or whatever. And I thought, like I was started to say, intellectually, I know it all. Intellectually, I know all the algorithm, and I've studied, I've just empirical knowledge, whatever. I thought that I could kind of like jump some steps or outsmart the process, like, because I really am triggered about all this. Oh, because you don't think you're good enough. I mean, what does that even mean? Like, a lot of the issues that are legitimate issues that people have, in their becoming, in their, self-alignment, or meaning making, or personal, productivity, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of these legitimate concerns, but I've always been very attuned to what my real issues are. And I have had a firm handle on them. But just because you can understand things and you have them in perspective, and I mentioned, like some are compartmentalized, some are delineated, some are, if you have a pretty clear view of what's going on, it doesn't mean that some of those little things don't get irritated and don't need some like ongoing maintenance. And so I figured, well, because I have it all, I can see the whole thing, that I should just be able to jump in. But I consistently, I've been stuck in this gap my whole life. I've noticed, like, I'm recognizing more of these patterns that I really thought that I had the jump on. I really thought that I had completely sorted out, but for whatever reason, they're coming back. So anyway, I know this is not making a lot of sense, but that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be workshopping it, and it's not because I think, oh, I'm so special or anything like that, any more than anyone else. I'm doing this as a true exercise in the reality that, yeah, there are things to be afraid of. There's weirdos, there's stalkers, there's, getting lumped into, associated with, people don't like what you believe, or whatever, and so they might misrepresent it, or they might get triggered and misconstrue what it is you're really about. And those are some legitimate concerns. That's why I think a lot of the conformity is really a matter of convenience, and people just falling into, and that's also a dangerous thing, because like the real weirdos that you need to worry about, unfortunately, when everyone's like acting all like, conformity, it's like a blueprint for how people can, like, act normal, like the predators and stuff. So anyway, that's my thing, is I don't care. Some days I'm gonna show up probably a little bit more put together, some days a little bit more creative or whatever. But I think just putting it out there that what I'm going to do is go through this process. And if you're feeling like it's time just like to go through a reckoning, where it's like maintenance, it's hard to get under the hood and go, oh my gosh, I thought it was just this one, needed a grease or this or that, and the belt's cracked or whatever, and it's like you open up the can of worms, and then it's a hose, and it's another this and it's another that, and before you know it, it's like, but it has to be done. And so that's what we're doing. It doesn't mean I'm like so sick of this, because you need to like awake, or, become someone else, or I don't, all this crazy stuff. And there's legitimacy in it. It's all just how, like, words, semantics. That's another thing I really want to get into. I want to dispel this whole myth of like semantics is like such a divisive thing. It's like propagandized against us. And no, it just means like what things mean. Why are we not allowed to like break that down without getting triggered? And I don't know. So I mean, I'm still here, I'm still in the game, but I have to do what I feel called to do. And this is kind of like maybe in the woo category. It's like the divine inspiration is telling me that I need to just show up. And maybe it's like weeding out the people, instead of like trying to radiate like the people that I know that will identify, that were like on, sojourners, like on whatever trippers or whatever. Maybe it's just like really just weed out, that give like the people that don't want to try to see it another way, or see it my way, or they just don't. Oh, that's one of the other things I started to mention, is about like this gap, that I've always been kind of caught in this, like, because I'm smart, and I have like in divine, I've always had this like way, like, wise beyond my years or whatever. Like, I know things, even though I haven't really actively, I just know them. And so it's like, okay, well, she understands. She's, kind of like how they say, like, fall through the cracks, but it's not like that. Like, oh, we need to steer this person, or else they're just going to get lost off to their own devices. And well, I mean, I guess in a way that's actually what it is, which is good. That I believe in. But the point is it's like, I am just myself. I'm not like, oh, I want your sympathy. I want you to, I want to, or like, oh, let me get up in your business and ha 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 and flatter you. And I just don't, that's not where I'm at. And it's not what I'm into. And, like every single creativity that I pursue, that's like the thing, is it's not that I don't have my own style. It's like actually the contrary. It's that I ultimately feel comfortable experimenting and coming off differently so that it's not like, oh, well, this is the recognizable format of all the ones have the, have this particular color or this particular contour or blah, 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 blah. Or whatever, the thumbnails and the, whatever the production, like what I'm doing here. No, I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. There is something to be said for that. And if that trip speaks to me, then I will do that. In the meantime, it is okay to revisit the things that need to be revisited, to, start developing real, like just take an assessment, like a regular inventory. I think people would benefit from. And it's not that I haven't been self-aware or been, having my running tally of like, where I'm at in my assessment. It's just that I think I was just holding back. I'm thinking like, I can be weird enough or reserved enough or this enough or that enough to try to, come off and like and it's not backfiring. It's not showing my true self. So anyway, there's a million topics to discuss. And yeah, and oh yeah, so I want to get into like a lot more of the visions and the plans, but I think I'm going to try to keep this. Oh my gosh, this is already like over 15 minutes. I'm going to try to do maybe what I'm feeling is show up and just do like a little 5-minute thing and try to not ramble on and just, throw out a couple things that are just whatever's on the top of my mind and not, and keeping the reins so that I don't just kind of drag it on. And then, maybe there'll be a time later where I could do things a little bit more thoughtfully, a little bit more whatever, like organized thinking to where, we could do some longer format things, but anyway, blah, blah, blah. But that's it. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And I'm back to the hope thing. I just am inspired. That's it. I can't give up. And I feel so bad. Like there's something, I think I'm very like empathic in a way that I truly feel bad. Like for, if you've never like had that internal will. But that's the thing is, you know what? People can discover it. It's like there's comes a time. It's like where, hopefully you don't just like pass this life and never find it. Sadly, that does happen, I guess. But I don't know. The we just the ones that are feel inclined to demonstrate, fearless, inspired contentment and want to share it and like because I believe in hope for humanity. I don't believe that everybody's freaking evil deep down and they're just projecting all this, crazy stuff on other people because they don't know what they're capable of. I've been pushed to my limits, I know, very well. And I'm not a shadow. I'm not anybody's shadow. I am my own light. And that's it. I'm sick of it. Sick of it. Um, But so if you're sick of it too, and you want to be your own light and stop being somebody else's shadow that could be misconstrued and misrepresented, then we're in this together. And we're all in it together anyway, but you know what I mean? Sometimes it just feels good to like have a little bit of team spirit. So I'm here and let's see where we can take this. Have a wonderful day. I honor the foundation that inspires my focus. I craft my hope. I guide my purpose.